Hi, this is Tracy, aka Auntie. For this cake, I'm going to start out with a layer of vanilla cake on my handy dandy pottery wheel. Here's a border of nice thick buttercream icing, and I'm going to fill it with some fresh raspberry buttercream. Take my spatula here and smooth it right out, just like that. So quick. Now for the second layer. Squirt it with simple syrup. Another border. More raspberry icing. And so on and so forth until I have 4 layers of cake and 3 layers of filling. Here I'm taking a little buttercream, filling in the gaps, and then I'm going to crumb coat it. And I just need a nice thin layer of buttercream for the crumb coat. Then I'm going to stick it in the fridge for 15 or 20 minutes. Okay, now that it's done chilling, I'm going to add more buttercream icing. Just going to circle around the cake just like that, layer by layer. And then I'll use my spatula to smooth the top and my bench scraper to smooth the sides. Smooth out the top again. You'll see to the side here I have a bowl of warm water that I have the bench scraper in. It warms up the metal just a little bit, so when I do one final smoothing of the cake, it melts the buttercream just enough to make it really smooth. I'll use that heated bench scraper on the top also. Sometimes I'll even take a paper towel and my fondant smoother and smooth that icing so I don't have any ridges or bumps. Then I'll move it into the fridge again. And while that's chilling, I've prepared some pink buttercream icing. I'm going to pipe some flowers and stick them in the freezer as well. For these flowers, I'm simply moving the petal tip up and down to make ruffly petals. I've got a slightly darker pink in the center and lighter pink on the edges. I'll do 3 rows and that should be just the right size for my cake. Using the same technique, I'm going to make really large rows that I'm going to use on the top of the cake. I'll pop that into the freezer as well. While my flowers are chilling, I will coat my cake in fondant. First, I'll roll out the fondant, then drape it over my cake. Using my fondant smoother, I'll smooth the top, and then with my hands, I'll gently smooth the fondant downward until I've got all those wrinkles out. Once I've worked all those wrinkles out with my hand, I will use my fondant smoother again, right along the sides there, just like that. And with my mini pizza cutter, I'll just cut right there along the bottom, leaving a nice, beautiful crisp edge. So here, I'm flipping the cake upside down to make a really sharp corner right there on the bottom. Sometimes I'll do it by pinching the fondant smoothers, but sometimes I like to flip it upside down. I'm just pushing the fondant down to the bottom. Oh, look at that nice edge. I'll go over it one more time with my 2 fondant smoothers just to clean it up a little bit. With a pastry brush, I'll sweep the excess cornstarch off the cake. Here I'm going to try using my airbrush with metallic gold paint. This is the first time I've used the gold paint in my airbrush, so we'll see how it goes. Oh yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. While I'm letting that paint dry, I'm going to roll out some fondant ruffles for my bottom tier. I'll roll a log of fondant out to my desired thickness. Then I'll take my little fondant tool and roll it along the edge to make that ruffled look. Now it's time to put it on the cake. Here I've got a little water. Just gonna lay it on the board there so it doesn't rip and glue it onto the cake. Looks like I cut it a little too short. I'll show you how I mend that in just a second. Taking an extra piece, I'll put it on, tuck it under and fold it in. And it will almost look like it never happened. I'll do a lighter pink right on top of the dark pink. Trim that up a little bit. Fluffing the ruffles. And I'll add my final ruffle. Kind of have an ombre effect going on there. On this one I'm kind of pinching the top a little to give it a little more ruffle look. Piece in that section again. There we go. Pretty, pretty. Now I'm adding some fondant beadwork. Oop. Better glue that one back on. There we go. Straighten it out a little bit. As you can see, I'm using a light brown fondant. I love the look of the brown fondant underneath the gold paint, which I'll paint on in just a moment. At the top of the ruffle, I'm adding a small pearl border. And here I'm painting those beads gold. I won't have you watch me paint all of them, that's kind of boring. So on the tops here, I'm going to add some white beads. Let them hang naturally. There we go. Now it's time to add the flowers. They're nice and chilled, so I can touch them with my fingers and stick them right onto the cake. Using a little buttercream, I'm sticking them on there. Squeeze that one in there. There we go. Add a little bit larger flowers here along the gold beads. I'm pitching off a couple of those beads to make room for it. There we go. I think these flowers need a little something more, so I'm going to add some pearl beads right in the center of each one. And where the beads meet at the top, I'm going to use my star tip and pipe a little star flower and put a bead in those as well. On the cake board, I'll line it with gold and white pearl beads, just like that. Now it's time to add the topper. Stick that flower on there. It's been chilling also, so it's nice and hard. Now I'm going to add one more row of petals and a few pearls in the middle. Thank you for watching. I invite you to subscribe. Happy decorating!